Welcome back to Tools and Track. It's a busy old day out there, so despite the fact that you may think this is a low cost update, this is the only place that's quiet enough for me to talk. Today we're going on the MX5. But to do what, I hear you ask? The last time we discussed the MX5, it was time for the winter list. Well, it's not. We were done. That was meant to be the end of the season. We were waiting to hear if Forest Burn was going to come up for a final race in the championship. Well, things have escalated. The reason they were wanting to shut us out of Ardere has postponed. So I have 2 weeks to put everything into making sure that this car has a fighting chance for the final day of the championship. Now, that to me, as you've probably seen throughout the whole duration of our MX5 series, means like massive amounts of mods and ridiculous nonsense. It's actually not, right? I've done enough to the car. I need to actually see if the changes I've made are going to make an effect. Now, the last time we raced on it, it was horrific storm level rain and I put the wrong tyres on. So that's going to be really the height of what I need to do today. Really, tyres. Tyres is the only thing I'm going to have a go at today. Now, that means we need to have a chat because I'm not putting semi-slicks on. Now, there's two reasons for this. One, it's not strictly legal for this race series, and I didn't really realise until I turned up on the wettest day of the year. And the scrutineer boy just laughed at me and went, you shouldn't be running these, but it's not going to make any difference for you today. And he was right. So what I've done instead is bought the best road tyres I can find, which is Rain Sport 5s. So we're 3 days away from race day, and in a first for Tools and Track, I'm probably just going to leave this thing alone. No, obviously not. No. What I'm going to try and do is start trying to put a bit of science into why I'm getting understeer. Now, having looked at the car a few times, and you probably noticed this yourself, it seems to be quite arse down, front up for some reason. Now, for some reason, mismatched coilovers, absolute banger coilovers, and a complete inability to set a car up is probably going to be the prime reason for that. So I think what's going to have to happen here is, A, we raise the back up literally as much as they can go. Now bear in mind I put the gazies on and I've found them to be just a bit short, and I've put a lot of preload on the spring in the back just to get it to the height it's at. Basically I'm going to have to ramp as much preload as I can safely get away with without the risk of that throwing a C-spanner in my face, and try and get as much height as possible there. And my logic with this is, as we brake, I want to be putting more weight in the front and bringing it off the back. If the car sits like that, it's probably not going to do that as well as if it was slightly nose down. Remember, as much weight in the front will improve grip, hopefully reducing understeer. The only other thing I can think, without getting into War and Peace and just dealing with this coilover situation with new ones, and that is going to happen at some point, is tyre pressures. But we'll come to that. I'm really glad this is the last race. It is frost, which means there's going to be salt soon. Race 1 of the day. As you can see, sunnier, happier. This is as good as it's going to get. We have 36 psi in the backs, 32 in the front. Today is going to be all about tyre pressures, so let's see if the first recipe will bake bread.
Not great, but not bad. We're lining up for run 2 and I've changed nothing because I've got a really bad habit of changing everything and I don't really know if the changes made a difference. It's my first run of the day. Chances are that's not actually been the enduro tyres, it's just been me, but it is understeering quite a bit still, so just drive a bit smarter and it might be better. The tyre strategies are strong today. The rears were higher than the fronts to induce oversteer, and I don't think it's working. So I've dropped the rears below the fronts, not because of any science, but just to see if it's going to make a difference.
You've told me the opposite.
I know, but I just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. I don't want to take more air out because these are stretched a bit, and I don't want to lose the sidewall and potentially touch rim on the track, so. Nice quiet place to do it. Technical support has arrived, so I'm still understeering quite a bit, and what we've decided is overinflate the rears. So rears are currently about 32, so we're going to just gun them up to like 38, using what I have not yet shown. This is Daniel's gift, the fantastic Hong Kong special. So this padlock looking device is actually a barrel. So let's take it all the way up to 38. All we need to forget a trophy. Come back next time. Actually, it pumps up really well. Is it? Yeah. There we go. Done. Stops automatically at 30. Glorious. Right, course reversal. Lined up. I appear to be first again for some bloody reason. First run of the day, we have got 2 clicks of extra damping in the back. That's all I've changed.
And so, following some celebratory donuts, it was time to wrap up the 2023 Scottish Sport and Car Club Autosolo Championship. Of course, that doesn't mean all the work's done, but certainly the fun racy drivey bit is. Time to think about what lies ahead. And of course, where we finished for 2023. But I'll get to that in a moment. I usually say this at the end of every episode and nobody seems to bother. This has been a massive amount of work. Being competitive, building cars, racing cars, and making sure every week you guys have an episode. I think I'm fully justified in telling you owe us a share. This has been a good video put together. I think a lot of other people might like it, and it would be pretty cool if, just for once, put it in your social media feeds. That would be lovely. Because by now, 6 years into this game, I should have way more than 5,000 subs, but that's all I'll say about that. So where did I finish on the race? Well, we clocked 7th, which isn't great, I know. We have done better in previous tests, but I will state this. Everyone came out for the final just to make sure they were scoring points. So the competition was pretty fierce. The car itself did really well, the tyres seemed to grip, and my times were pretty consistent, so that might be all it has to give in its current form. So where did we finish in the championship? Now, as said at the start of this, when our MX5 was stock and freshly bought, if we could get a top 10 finish, it would be impressive. And then, of course, as the year progressed, we were like, ooh, a top 5 finish might actually be within the remit. Let's push towards this. Now, I'm going to temper this right now by saying the gap between 5th and 6th place was 6 points of a difference. And it has been a bloody competitive year with the person that finished 6th. And by sheer fluke, the final did not see him sitting in his own car, but in a rather gracious seat provided by the championship winner. But this is all background, drive to survive level politics that you guys don't actually care about. You just want to know where we did it. 5th or 6th? We got 5th. Not bad. Not great, but for my first ever motorsport calendar, and for the first ever run out in that MX5, I think that's all right. Next year's target, well, that's a different story. I think a top 3 could be in the remit. And I'm still going to stick by that tempering of we are not going forced induction to achieve it. That should keep things challenging, I would say. But that does give us a big to-do list for the next few months. The next race at Ardeer, when it's next season, will be around about April, May. So I reckon that gives me 5 or 6 months at best to come up with something impressive for this car. I mean, there is obviously the other idea. That one that we use the car we designed for doing that, but well, I'm not going to slow down in the attempts for this. This will be my priority, and if all of my eggs line in the one basket, this might well be the car we use in April. We'll see. It's going to be a busy, cold winter, but my motivation to get this done is quite high, and as you can see, we're getting pretty good progress with it. But that's all to come. For the moment, I will say thanks to everyone running up the side of the screen, the Patreons, the guys that make all this happen. I am getting a bit year-endy, misty-eyed and reviewing how things have went. There's some people on this list here that have been supporters from the start, and I honestly can't thank you guys enough. Without yous, it probably would happen, but it would be pish. So your support really has made this channel come on leaps and bounds. If you feel like you could give that level of support, of course, patreon.com/toolsandtrack. Any help's always appreciated. If not, as I said, you know, subscribe, bell, but do the share, because nobody's doing the share, and it is really evident. Anyway, that's enough of that nonsense. Next up, low cost. But until then, drive safe, guys, and thanks for watching.